Alright, hello everyone and welcome back to another video. I'm ScubaDaddy and today I'm gonna be showing you the single best build in one's human for PvP and PvE as well. Now I know in the previous times I made videos like this, I forgot the target dummy, which was dumb of me. I know, I'm sorry. This time I showed you just in the beginning of the video how strong this thing is. And I will show you the sniper right now as well. As you can see, it starts like that. It goes to 20, 24, and it ramps up with more and more damage. Now, we all know that Bingo is insanely strong. This sniper right here. You can pair it with the Wildfire pistol, the Deagle, but you can also pair it with a Doombringer. Now, this is a very expensive build due to the fact that you actually, the minimum thing you have to have is the boots, which is 8,000 star chrome, the Bingo, which is 8,000 star chrome, and the Doombringer, which is 8,000 star chrome. And not to mention the other three pieces that are 3,000 star chrome each, which is 9,000 more star chrome. So in total, we have 33,000 star chrome just for this build. So you gotta make sure you save your star chrome if you're gonna go for this build on a new season. If you're at the end of your season, you still don't have this build. If you wanna go for it on the next season, make sure you keep your star chrome. There might be new weapons and gear that will come out in the new season. I hope there are. But for now, this build is literally the strongest build in the game. So I will go over what exactly I'm using because everything in this build is very, very, very important. You have to use these things correctly. You have to use the exact attributes on your mods. You have to use these mods. There are some mods that you can switch out for different ones, but these ones, there's some mods that you have to use that are key elements to this build. Now, of course, for the Doombringer, we are gonna go for the calibration attribute lightweight style, which reload speed is plus 150% and magazine capacity minus 30%. Keep in mind, you have to have the weak spot damage secondary and third option, not the crit damage or the crit rate, and I will explain why. So for the mods, you gotta have the vulnerability amplifier because this will literally make the enemy like a total jelly. It will literally melt the enemies. I'm not even kidding. I was playing War yesterday and it was absolutely insane. I was two-shotting everyone, and from range, not very close. I was from range as well and he two-shot them. It's fucking incredible. Sorry the language. So for the tactics, the accessory, I'm going for the tactical laser sight, the golden one, because it gives you the best stats. And for ammo, you can go for whatever you like. I'm going for tungsten shotgun because I don't think it requires anything else. It's literally useless. For cosmetics, you can go for whatever you want. But you gotta make sure on your mods, you either have for a secondary, like the four attribute effects, you gotta have either weak spot or weapon damage. As you can see, I got very, very, very lucky here. I have weak spot damage, golden, and purple weapon damage, which is insanely rare to get. Insanely rare. So yeah, this was very lucky of me. But make sure you have either weak spot damage or weapon damage. The HP works as well because it's very hard to find the HP mod for your chest or pants. Now for the Bingo, I go for the vulnerability amplifier as well. As you can see already, I also have the weapon damage plus 3.6%. Now remember, these attributes work only for the weapon you have selected it on. Now if you see right on the bottom, I have magazine capacity plus 12%. This works only for the Bingo, not the Doombringer. The only things that work for other stuff is the armor pieces. Yeah, make sure you have weapon damage on it and weak spot damage. I don't have it, but I have the golden magazine capacity, which gives me another shot in the slot. So for the accessories, I'm using the muzzle suppressor. I'm using the large optic for range because you gotta have range with this build. I'm using the purple amended as SR mag because if you're using the other one, the accuracy goes to literal dumpster fire. So I don't want to use that. I'm using the amended SR mag, which is pretty good. Now for the ammo, you can use the tungsten SR ammo for the bullseye if you wanna be like one-shotting people with the bullseye or two-shotting. But I'm using the tungsten SR ammo, the normal ones. I also have the specialization for that, so it's pretty easy for me to craft them. Now for the melee weapon, I'm not really using anything special. There's nothing special to use. This is just a thing you want to have some. But I would advise you get the light striker style because it gives you 12.5% movement speed and just upgrade it to tier calibration +4, which will give you the light striker style. That's just my opinion. I don't really use this. I mean, if you're using the samurai, you can have the like a melee weapon and just flash on enemies and kill them instantly with a melee weapon, but that's not my style. I like to use the shotgun. I mean, you have the shotgun, which is incredibly powerful, so you don't need that. Now heading over to the armor pieces, I'm using 2 Bastille set pieces because it gives me 20% reload speed, and when HP is above 70%, weapon damage is plus 10%. I'm using 1 Lone Wolf mask because the 1 Lone Wolf mask will give me magazine capacity plus 10%, which will help my Doombringer because, believe it or not, when you have the calibration attribute lightweight style, your ammo goes to 1. So you don't want to have it to 1, you could want to have it to 2 per round. So if you want to have it 2 per round, you gotta have the exact mods with extra magazine capacity and the Lone Wolf mask, which is a key thing in this build. For the boots, of course, I have the most broken boots in the freaking game, the Old Huntsman boots. We all know this thing. I don't really have to explain it. Now, for the top and the pants, I have the Agent set because it gives me hit damage reduction and also weak spot damage plus 10%, which is absolutely perfect. I don't really need the next thing because it is not really useful in this build. But yeah, this is a pretty good thing to have. The Agent top and the Agent pants are pretty good. If you want to, you can like switch them around. You can have like 2 Bastille from pants and top, and it doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter. So whatever you want to have, on which slot you want to have it, is fine. Just have 2 Bastille set, 1 Lone Wolf mask, 1 Old Huntsman boot, and 2 Agent sets. Sorry. Now let's go over with the mods. The helmet, the Bastille helmet, I'm using the Precise Strike Precision mod. Hitting a weak spot grants weak spot damage plus 12% for 3 seconds. Effect can stack up 3 times. And also on the bottom, again, extremely freaking lucky, golden weapon damage plus 9%. Insane amounts of damage in PvP and PvE. I'm one-shotting freaking bosses with this thing. And I also have the magazine capacity 4.8%. Now remember guys, you gotta have this thing as well. If you find magazine capacity 4.8%, do not drop it. This is a great thing to have. If you have weak spot with magazine capacity, make sure you have magazine capacity because you need at least above 20% magazine capacity to outdone the lightweight style, which is magazine capacity minus 30%. So make sure you get that as well on your mods. Do not think this is something bad. This is a must for this build because you will only have 1 bullet. For the Lone Wolf mask, I'm using Targeted Strike. This is where I'm getting the crit. That's why you need the weak spot damage on your calibration attribute on your shotgun. As you can see, I have a weak spot damage 8.5% and 12.2%. And here on I'm using the Targeted Strike. I know some people like to use the other one that gives you more damage, more weapon damage, but I don't like that. I like the crit damage because, as you saw in the start of the video, it does another 1.2k more damage on the target dummy as a crit. And because when you shoot the bullets, you have 6 bullets, 3 of them will surely be a crit in this game. So make sure you have this on if you want to do some crit as well. And also does 25% more crit damage. As you can see at the bottom, I have attribute effects 5.4% weak spot damage. Unfortunately, I couldn't get it any higher, but I did get damage against elite enemies for 7.5% as a golden one, and weapon damage reduction 4.8%, which is pretty good for PvP. Now for the Agent top, I'm using Resist Advantage. When out of combat, get 1 stack of 10% damage reduction every 5 seconds. Effect can stack up to 5 times. 1 stack is removed when hit. This is debatable. I would advise you go for the HP one that gives you only HP. That is the best one you want to go for. But if you don't have it, because it's a very rare thing to find, just go for this one. This one is pretty good because when you get into a fight, you will have 5 stacks. You have 50% armor on you, 50% damage reduction, which is absolutely incredible. As you can see on the bottom, I have magazine capacity again 4.8% and weapon damage 6.0%. Now for the Agent pants, I gotta find the HP one as well. Make sure, guys, you have the HP on this one and the HP on this one if you want to be base in this build. I am using this one. Unfortunately, I didn't find it yet. I'm still grinding for it. I did like 70 yesterday. Like, I couldn't find it. I just was doing Leah Labs. I was doing Forsaken Giant, and I still couldn't find it. If you're wondering how I find all these mods and where I look at them, another YouTuber made a mod list. Dumeris. I have a video on my channel as well of where I find everything, and of course I showcase a map of everything that shows you exactly where everything on the map is. So if you haven't watched that, go and watch that as well on my channel. As you can see here, I have weapon damage plus 9%, and I'm using the magazine capacity 7.2%, which is pretty good as well. I'm getting one more round on my weapon. Now for the gloves, I'm using Bastel gloves again. I'm using the weapon damage plus 15.0%. Now I tested this. Don't worry guys. I also have the golden weak spot damage boost. This is better. This does like 500 damage more in each bullet. I have tested this and it's proven that this one is a lot stronger. And I also have on this one, incredibly lucky again, on attribute effects, weak to damage plus 7.2%, and it's really, really good. Make sure you have this on your attribute effects as well. If you have the controllers, make sure you grind these silos to get all these amplifiers. They're incredibly powerful if you get the right ones. As you can see here, I have the weak spot damage plus 7.2%, which increases also my weak spot, and I have the weapon damage 50%, which also increases my weapon damage overall. And for this one, again, I didn't find what I was looking for, so I went for the weak spot damage plus 15%, because I also have, as an attribute effect, a weak spot damage plus 3.6%, so I'm getting an 18.6% more weak spot damage from the boots. Now for these ones, go for the HP as well. The HP is pretty good. You gotta have the HP, because when you're in close range with other people, you want to have like that extra 12.6% HP the golden mod gives you. And if you can get on the golden mode of HP, the weapon damage, if you're incredibly lucky, that's gonna be like top tier. Make sure you grind that as well. You find it in Lialab Pro and in Forsaken Giant Pro. As you can see, when I press C here, I have 0 crit damage, but when I'm using this, I'm getting 10% crit rate, which, fairly enough, 3 bullets of my 6 bullets go for crit. You don't need more than 0%, trust me. You don't actually need more. You will see here right now, the first bullet will do nothing. You see it's white, but the second ones, 3 bullets are always crit, which is absolutely incredible. This build is an absolute banger. Like, I got the first time I used this in war, I got first place, most points, most kills, and less deaths in the whole game. I had 23 kills, 4 deaths, and I think like 150k points, which is absolutely incredible if you're defending. As you can see here, it's absolutely busted right now. When I used it, I have 10% crit rate, crit damage 30%, weak spot damage 104.9%. It doubles your weak spot damage from all these modifications. Weapon damage bonus 64.8%, melee damage bonus, we don't care about that. Status damage bonus, we really don't care about that. And all this other stuff here that are useless to know. But you gotta focus on these things: weak spot damage, crit rate, and weapon damage bonus. All these 4 things right here, you gotta have this, just how it looks at me. If you have better ones, good for you, very lucky. And also the HP is at 11,000 right now. You could get it higher, again, if you get the right ones for these 3 pieces right here. If you get the HP ones, you could go to 16,000, I think, 17,000, which is absolutely incredible. I would advise, if you get the HP for the pants and the boots, to not change the one here, because this is actually pretty good. You get 50% damage reduction, 25 seconds. It's absolutely incredible. Now remember guys, if you want to get the Doombringer and the Bingo, you can go to your wish machine, press G, go to shotgun blueprints, it's right here, that's the Doombringer. If you want to get the Bingo, go to sniper rifle blueprint, get the Bingo right here. This is a bullseye build, guys. You gotta have the bullseye. The bullseye works perfect with this build. Now the lone wolf, I'm using this mask right here. I'm using the Bastel set, the 2 pieces, because they're pretty good together. The reload speed works fine. You basically have 170% more reload speed. As you can see, it reloads very fast. Server's kind of lagging right now, so I'm shooting kind of slow. But as you can see, the damage here, it went to 3,333,000 after 6 shots. Now let's test this again. 5 times. I'm gonna shoot 10 bullets on this dummy and see how much damage it does. This build is absolutely incredible. As I said before, it's good in PvE and PvP, because if you're doing like these PvE scenarios where you need to be close range, you have your shotgun, it literally one-shots everything in the game. And if you're on long range, you have those annoying little flying things shooting at you, you just use the Bingo and just annihilate them in 2 shots or 1 shot. Now I am using the stun button. This is a little tip for you guys. The stun button is best in slot in every freaking build, because you can use it to unlock secret scenarios that requires power surge to unlock, like the Silo EX1, if I'm not mistaken. That was it, guys. That was the entire build. Make sure you go and see if you have any of these pieces and you can't collect these pieces. This build is absolutely incredible. It does so much damage, as I've shown in this video. If you like it, you can build it how I explained it. If you want to find all these mods, make sure you go into my channel and look for the video that I tell you exactly what tools I'm using to find everything in this game. Hope you guys enjoyed. I'm ScubaDaddy, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Adios.